Hello. Today I wanted to hop on here real quick and just kind of talk about something that I just remember what I was feeling last year before I started on my health and fitness journey. And it's like every time before we start something, we feel kind of overwhelmed and discouraged because we've let ourselves go. I had let myself go so far, just the thought of how long it was going to take me to get into shape. I was thinking too far in the future. I was thinking, man, from what I've read and what I've seen and as far out of shape as I've gotten, it's going to take me a year. And sometimes you just stop right there, you know? We get so discouraged and overwhelmed of the hard work in front of us that we think of all 365 days in one day. No. When we do that, it's like I realize, why am I carrying all of that on me at one time? All I have to worry about is one day, 24 hours. That's all. That's all I'm given. What am I willing to do in this 24 hours that I was given, right? And it just reminded me of a scripture in Matthew 6:34 where it says, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own," right? And that's so true. That's so true across the board with anything, right? We want to carry every single one of those 365 days and think of them and carry them around like this big old weight because there's no way. That's a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to do if you're trying to put it into a 24-hour period. If you're thinking of it like that, all you got to do is today, And when you think about it, what am I willing to do today? Right? What can I do in this 24-hour period? You can pretty much accomplish, or not accomplish, but you can pretty much do anything for 24 hours, right? Like in that 24-hour period. When you think of it like that, you're like, I can endure this. I can cut out chocolate for one day, or I can minimize the amount of unhealthy starches I have for one day. I can do that for one day, right? And so and this carries over into your spiritual growth as well, too. You see someone who has this amazing relationship with the Lord, and it's taken them their whole life to get there, or so it seems, right? But all God's calling you to today is to give Him today. You give Him a little each day, right? And you add to that, and before you know it, you have this amazing relationship with the Lord. And there's no telling how long that's going to take or how short of a time it's going to take, right? But you only have to take that one step. These baby steps lead up to those victorious moments, those times where you have finally climbed that mountain, right? But it takes your first step. So just in that one day, take one step towards your time with God. So in a 24-hour, can you give Him 15 minutes? 15 minutes in prayer and scripture, at least. Give Him more if you've got it. But if you're limited on time and you're busy, can you not, for one 24-hour period, give up 15 minutes of sleep, 15 minutes of the TV, or 15 minutes on social media? Just 15 minutes. Give that to God and let Him transform you through His Word, right? And pray for Him to give you the self-discipline and the strength to make it through your day, and to give you the self-discipline to do something, that's going to physically impact your physical body, that's going to help you be healthier, right? That's going to help you have more energy and to take care of your family and to be all God called you to be, right? So can you give Him that 15 minutes? And then can you give 20 minutes that day, right? At least 20 minutes, maybe 30, to do that physical activity, right? And once again, you go into Him first in the morning and you give Him that 15 minutes. And you pray for Him to give you the strength and the self-discipline you need, and give you the energy, and to protect you from injury as you try to work out and strengthen your physical body, right? And what I've learned, when you strengthen your physical body, your spiritual and emotional state becomes strengthened as well. It's nothing is isolated. As we strengthen these things, they all go together. And they make us whole and strong and healthy, and equip us to be patient with our family, more patient, more loving. We'll have the energy to pour into them and do the things that they need from us, and not be so grumpy, right? And so I encourage you, just think about, what are you capable of doing in this 24-hour period? Forget about how long it might take you, because that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. start today giving God that 15 minutes, taking the time for you. And I know moms out there, you have that mom guilt for taking time for yourself because your family needs so much from you and you just don't have the time to give them what they need. What they need is a healthy role model. What they need is a healthy mother, and what your husband needs is a healthy wife. I'm not talking about a perfect wife with six-pack abs. I'm talking about a healthy wife, a wife who feels comfortable in her skin, a wife who feels confident in front of him, a wife who has enough love for herself that she's going to take time to care for herself. Your kids need to see that, right? Because they need to learn how to have some self-care, right? Doesn't mean being selfish, but taking care of ourselves and loving ourselves because God created us and gave us this life. That's honoring to God, that we care for the temple that He's given to us, right? And so I encourage you to kind of move beyond that mom guilt and take care of yourself. I'm talking about 15 minutes quiet time and 20 to 30 minutes of exercise. You can do that, right? Just cut out some things. And you do that for one day, right? And then the next day you say, okay, I can do this again. That was awesome because by the end of the day, you felt like you could conquer the world because you had some self-discipline and you did some things that was positive for your life. And it's this domino effect. So you do that in that 24-hour period. And then the next day you wake up and you say, you know what, that felt good to feel like I succeeded at something, that I actually set a goal and I accomplished it. So today, only today, I'm going to do these things again. And before you know it, and before I knew it last year, I mean, I thought there's no way I'm going to get this weight off. It's too hard. It's too hard to get back into the good health. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I have back problems. I have hormone issues and all of these things, right? But I said, no, my physical health has got to become, my physical and spiritual and mental health has got to become a priority again. And before I knew it, I was given those 24-hour periods, and I prayed before every workout, please protect me from injury and give me the strength I need, God. Give me the self-discipline to make good choices so that I fuel my body with food that's going to make me feel satisfied because I'm getting the nutrients I need, and that it's going to fuel my energy and fuel my health and fuel my brain. Even my work was better because of it. And so before I knew it, those 24 hours led up to it only actually being a 3-month period, and I got the weight off. I got 25 pounds off in 3 months, and I didn't think that was possible, but it took, I gave it my everything in that 3 months, right? And so let me get back to my notes. I'll get real far off and this will go on forever. Another thing I encourage you to do when you have your quiet time in the morning, and that helped me, was because throughout the day, especially how busy and crazy we get, we tend to, we too often are controlled by our emotions, right? And we find things to satisfy us, and most of the time that's food. Sometimes it's alcohol, sometimes it's drugs, a relationship, a person. We're looking for something to satisfy us because we're emotional beings, and our emotions sometimes need some satisfying. And when we're actually, there's two things that may be really the core of that hunger and that craving. One, it's a soul craving. We're craving more of God. Our soul needs Him, right? And our brain doesn't comprehend that. Our brain says, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. That makes no sense. It is. We have a deep hole that was created. We were created with that craving. We were created for this craving so that we will go back to Him. But instead, we go to these other things. We go to our phone and find connection with people when God's really calling us to connect with Him, and that's what our soul needs. And we go to food to satisfy that craving when we're really just craving more time with God. And I mentioned there's two things. The other thing sometimes is simply water. Sometimes we're thirsty, and we confuse that with being hungry. We confuse that with needing something to eat. So if you can just go to God in prayer and drink a glass of water, sometimes you'll be surprised that craving and longing is gone, right? And then you're filled up and you're satisfied, and then everything else you do in your day is just a blessing on top of that. It's not going to try to fill that hole. That hole's already filled. And so the prayer that helped me was one I learned from Beth Moore a long time ago, and it's for everything. It says, Dear Lord, satisfy all my longings and fill all my hollow places with your lavish and unfailing love. And repeat that over and over like it's a mantra. And also the purpose of that prayer too is you have to replace those negative thoughts. You've got to, instead of saying I can't have that cookie, that cookie's calling your name all day long, you're like, I can't have that cookie, I can't have that cookie. Well, what are you still focused on? You're still focused on that cookie, and so you have to replace that. So instead of thinking, I can't have that, I can't have that, you say, God, satisfy all my longings and fill all my hollow places with your lavish and unfailing love. God, satisfy my heart, satisfy these cravings, God. And you'll be surprised how well that works. And there are times you want a snack, and that's fine. But you got to make sure you're not having that snack simply to satisfy a craving that is only to be satisfied by God. So, okay. So in regards to physical and mental, mental, and spiritual health, it does take some time. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So when you think about it, it took you years and years to get to the place you're at, right? So it's not going to be instant. It's not going to be. And it's not going to be quick. It may take you a year. But really all it takes you is that 24 hours. Today. It takes me doing this today. Then the next day comes, takes me doing this today. And you keep doing that. Don't think about how long and daunting the process seems. Think about today. You can do anything today, right? Focus on that. And I'm not saying you can't do it fast, right? I am saying that a lot of these these fad diets and these quick weight loss things, if they don't involve eating clean and healthy with a well-rounded nutritional diet, and it doesn't involve working out, it's not going to be lasting. And if it requires you working out like a crazy an amount that you can't keep up forever, right? You're going to burn out, and you're cutting too many carbs, and you're cutting too much fat, or you're cutting your calories too low, you can't sustain that. So you may lose it fast, because I did this whole process 3 years ago. I did a 3-month program. Problem was, I wasn't taking the supplements I needed, because I don't eat a lot of vegetables and other nutritious foods. Also, our foods don't really hold all the nutrition they used to, and so I needed supplements to supplement the foods I was eating to give me the nutrients that I needed. And so I didn't do that in the first place. So I was eating way too little of food, and that was causing my metabolism to slow down. That was causing the cravings to be off the charts, and so it wasn't sustainable. I was also working out way too hard and too often, and both of those things were actually going against me. I did lose the weight, but however, when that 3-month competition was over, I was like, I gotta have food. It was uncontrollable. And I was just like, what is wrong with me? And I was eating things I'd never eaten before, because I had dropped my carbs too low. And I'm talking healthy carbs. I could have been eating rice and potatoes and natural foods that God gave me, and I wouldn't have had those cravings. But I cut too much of everything, that I was like eating donuts and chips and things I just never really ate even before that, right? And I gained the weight back in less than 6 months. And then some. I gained more. So I was heavier than I was. And so I just say all that because when you're starting a new healthy way of life, it's got to be something that's sustainable, right? Or have the mindset that, okay, I'm going to go at it hard for 3 months. And let me back up. So the other part of that was I was working out too hard. And when you work out too hard, especially if you're over 40, your body will do some crazy things. And so you have these, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a physical, I just don't have any kind of, I have life experience and stuff I've read. So the word is cortisol. So our cortisol levels skyrocket, our metabolism slows down, and so we're not eating enough, our metabolism's slowing down, we're working out too much, and our cortisol levels are going up. Both of those things together cause our bodies to hang on to fat for dear life, and it goes into preservation mode. And in preservation mode, it wants to find, and it's running out of energy and steam and nutrients, and so it wants to find the best way to conserve energy, right? And it looks at our body, especially in women, it says you have muscle You don't really need that much muscle. That muscle uses a lot of energy. So I'm going to feast on the muscle. The fat you need it to keep you warm and you need it to keep you alive, and you don't have a lot of it, or maybe you do, but your body says you need fat, and it doesn't take much energy to use this fat in our body. It takes a lot of energy to use the muscles that we have. And so it feasts on our muscles. It uses our muscle as the energy source. And so it defeats the whole purpose. So I learned a lot from that. And so I think that's what made this past year, January, that much more difficult, because it's like, I've already done this. It's exhausting. And I can't believe I let myself do this. And am I just going to do this again? So I made the mindset of doing it in a way that I could do for the rest of my life. And how I looked at it was, so what, going back to what I was saying is, yes, it's best if you can do it over a 1-year course. Just do it slowly. Each day, 24-hour period. And after a month, you're going to have some weight loss. You're going to have your body kind of transform because you're doing it slowly, and you have time for your muscle to build up and your body to feast on the fat and lose the fat for energy, because it's getting the right energy from food and your nutrients, right? And so when you're in a deficit of calories, just a slight deficit, you will lose the fat and build muscle, so your body will slowly transform. And so you add up that month, so you've got some 30 24-hour periods, and then in that you probably will lose about 5 pounds, right? And you didn't have to do anything crazy. This is stuff you could do for the rest of your life. But going back to what I did, I'm the kind of person, I just want to get it off. I just want to get the weight off, and then I want to enjoy that and coast and just what's the word for it? Just maintain, right? And that's the easy place to be. So remember that. So as you're doing this difficult part of losing the weight, eventually you're going to get to your goal. And from then on, you just can keep it up. And the more muscle you have built during that period, the more calories you burn at rest, the more calories you burn doing anything, and your metabolism is super high, and you can eat more. You can have a lot more treats, in moderation. And also when you've tackled that craving, that emotional craving for food, and you begin to just allow yourself little treats, you're not going to those treats to satisfy you. You're just going to have a treat, right? Because, God created us to enjoy eating, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying eating. It's when we crave food more than we crave God. And that craving drives us and controls us, right? So back to, you can do it in 3 months. You can lose 20 pounds in 3 months. But you have to decide what you're willing to do for that, right? You have to decide, are you up for a sprint of following a plan, And like me, for years, I followed my own plan. Why? I thought I knew how to do it when it never yielded results ever. So I finally decided I am going to find a solid plan, a healthy plan. And I'm not going to say, well, I don't really need to do that. If you want the results the person giving you the plan got, and the results the person giving you that program says you'll get, then follow it. Every aspect of it is important. The workout program, the calendar, the nutrient plan, and the supplement plan, all of those have a purpose, right? And it's not just to sell you something. Sometimes it is, so do your research, but you've got to follow a plan. So I found a plan by somebody I trusted, and I follow that program. I follow that program 100% because I told myself, if I can follow this 100%, I will be at my goal in 3 months. And then I can allow these little healthy treats, So the first time I did it, I was focusing on, when this competition is over, I get to have pizza. Because I watch all these people have all these things, and I felt so deprived. And I was like, I can have pizza, and I can have donuts, and I can have this and that. And I just went hog wild. Well, this time I said, okay, when this competition is over, I can have a cauliflower pizza. I can have some Halo Top ice cream. I can have, these treats, but find treats that are wholesome, that are created with whole God-made ingredients, not processed food. Just, you can cut out processed food for the rest of your life, because once you've detoxed in that 3 months, your taste buds change and you are satisfied. I am satisfied by cauliflower pizza. I am satisfied by Halo Top ice cream. I'm satisfied by baked sweet potatoes instead of French fries, or baked regular white potatoes. I can, put some olive oil on them, and they taste like French fries to me because I've detoxed. So your taste buds will change, and those things will taste good. My pre and post workout shake, when I first had it, I didn't like it. Now I love it. My taste buds changed. I like healthy. It tastes good. And so I just encourage you, find a program. or reach out to me, and I can help you set up a plan, a program to follow that's going to yield results in 3 months or a year. It depends on what you're willing to do. What work are you willing to put in? How fast do you want to lose it? And we can determine that backwards. How much time do you have in your day? How much food prep time do you have? How much time do you have to exercise? What does all of that look like? And for everybody, it's completely different. So either find someone you trust that knows these things, or reach out to me, and I can put together a plan for you that I trust. I promise you will work if you stick to it, right? And we say all these. Sometimes we like to use, and I'm not a doctor. Some people have thyroid issues and they have trouble, but I've also seen people that I've helped that have thyroid issues, and they followed the plan completely, and they are losing weight. They're losing a lot of weight, and they're eating healthy, and they're eating clean, and the energy is good, and they just feel better. So you can reverse some things. I can't promise that. I've seen it happen. So anyways, I just encourage you to try to look at this when you're tackling a whole new lifestyle, and you want to be healthy emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It takes 24 hours a day. 24 hours, right? You have one set of 24 hours. And to be honest, you only have really 12, right? Because you're not having to make decisions while you sleep, The decision about that is get your sleep. Get to bed early so that you can get up early, and so that you're on top of things. It starts there, and I call that owning my mornings. And actually, to own my mornings, it starts the night before. It starts with self-discipline of putting down my cell phone and quit, going through, social network. Quit trying to connect to, anyways, just put my phone down and quit trying to connect with the world, and say a little prayer, and so I can get a good night's sleep early, right? So it starts there. Put my phone down, turn the TV off, turn the lights down low, read a good book, unwind, and get to sleep early, because that's what sets your ability to be able to get up the next morning, right? We want to beat ourselves up because we didn't wake up early and we don't have the self-discipline. Well, you're half asleep. It's really hard to invoke self-discipline if it didn't start the night before. You make the mindset the night before. You go to bed early and you say, okay, I'm going to get up early, no matter what. You're not hitting the snooze. You're going to get up, and it's surprising, what setting your mind to it the night before will overcome in the morning when you wake up. And so I just get up. Right? But it starts there. So I encourage you to own your mornings, get your quiet time in the morning, and if you can, get your workout in the morning. And man, the accomplished feeling you have all day of knowing you already did those two things before anybody even woke up just sets you up for success, right? It just helps you stick to your plan and eating clean for that day, for that 24-hour period, because you say, you know what? I did all that. I can do this. And why would I want to undo what I did this morning? I want to make choices throughout the day that make me healthier, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So I encourage you to do that. If you need help, reach out to me. I'd love to help you find a plan. There are different programs. I can guide you toward some free programs that I followed, or I can guide you to some programs that you can stream, that you can work out from home. I used to work out at the gym all the time, and I discovered the streaming of videos and program workout plan from home, and I'm loving it. I get up, do my quiet time, climb it, put on my clothes, workout clothes, and get my workout done under 30 minutes, and I'm done with all of that. And I love them. They're actually fun. So reach out to me, and I can help you find something that fits into your time allotments, in your what you're willing to give and do. Based on what time you have and what energy you have and your health, all of that. I'll take all that into consideration. And we'll also look at what can you afford, right? There's so many choices out there, and they can get very costly, and I don't ever want to be that. So anything that I offer, I'm going to work with you on finding the best plan that will fit you in your budget and your lifestyle. So, all right, reach out to me if you need help. Any questions you have, I love to help. So I hope you have a great day, and get to bed early tonight so you can own your morning in the morning, and just go after it and get it done. All right. Bye.